Welcome, everyone, to our Week 6 NFL predictions. I'm Isaac, a Panthers fan. You don't have to pity me this week. That's Daniel, a Texans fan. He's also very happy. Hope you guys are doing well today. Daniel?
I was just going to say, you don't have to pity me either, but you could pity us for our picks last week, our record.
Ooh, boy. So I went an incredible 5-9. Daniel went an even more incredible 6-8. In our defense, there were a lot of upsets this week, but still, that's pretty abysmal. We acknowledge that.
Yes.
Yeah, bad week for us. Hopefully you guys did better in your predictions, so we're going to do a lot better this week, we hope. We got a lot of lackluster games that we think will be easy to predict, which probably means more upsets, but hey, that's football for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it is easy to look at our records and be like, oh, they had a bad week and things like that. But as we were talking, most of the games we got wrong were, like, upsets. Like, we both picked the Giants to win, and the Saints upset them. Even, like, going back to week 1, the 49ers upset the Rams. So there are just a lot of those games that, like, a lot of people thought was going to go a certain way and just went the other way. So honestly, at that, I think the stronger feeling might be I would have been more impressed if one of us had gotten like 9 or 10 right or something like that.
Yeah, the way it went, I mean, you have the Bills upsetting, or the Patriots upsetting the Bills. You have the Commanders upsetting the Chargers. The Titans got their first win of the year against the Cardinals, although the Cardinals did everything they could to lose that game. So shout out to Arizona, I guess. Yeah. Look, if you want to lose and you intentionally lose like that, which that's the only way they lost that game, they had to be on purpose, right? I mean, look at some of the dumb things they did. I'm sorry, Cardinals fans, y'all deserve this.
Yeah, that was something else, though.
Yeah, but good for the Titans, honestly. But yeah, I think that's all we have to say. Both of our records are, well, Daniel, you're 47-30-1. I'm 46-31-1. So in terms of competition, it's pretty tight right now. So that's good. It's going to be competitive this year. And
you're just one game behind me, which at this point, like, really doesn't mean anything. Like, okay, maybe the season ends and one of us wins by 1 point, it would. But right now, just for all I'm concerned, it's deadlocked, which I think is actually very fun because that means that we have a lot of similar picks, but also some swing games that are going one way or the other. Neither one of us is dominating the other, and this will be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's the way it should be for a competition. But we'll see if I can even the odds here. As we get started with our Week 6 picks, it's Thursday Night Football. You got the Eagles taking on the Giants. Both of these teams disappointed this week. The Giants lost to the worst team in football. No, I don't mean that they lost to themselves. They lost to the Saints. And we have to acknowledge that win as much as I hate the stupid Saints. They won. Giants lost. The Eagles, finally, their boring, anemic offense cost them very predictable play style, although this week they switched it up by only giving Saquon Barkley 6 carries because, when you're up 14 points, it makes sense to abandon the run completely. I completely get that, Philadelphia. Great coaching, great game plan. Yeah, very weird result for them. I'm going to take the Eagles in this game. I think it'd be very strange if the Giants won. I don't think their offense is going to do much against Philadelphia. I do think they can keep it close similarly like they did against the Chiefs a few weeks ago. I think their defense can get enough stops against the Eagles' boring offense, but I think it'll be the type of game they pull away late. Just they get enough plays, and it'll be slow, it'll be gross, but Philadelphia should be able to win this game.
Yes, one would have to be a little bit crazy or a delusional Giants fan to pick the Giants, but I'm picking the Eagles as well, I think. And I still think that things are going to be weird with, like, A.J. Brown and things like that. Like, obviously, he's been, like, kind of making his voice heard in his dissatisfaction for lack of targets and things like that.
Trade him to Houston.
Right, totally. I mean, you're hearing that, like, teams might be willing to, like, take him on a trade and things like that. I don't necessarily think he's going anywhere. I think they're just going to have to, like, suck it up and figure it out. I mean, at the end of the day, they are, 4-1, right? They were 4-0, and then, so they're winning games, like A.J. Brown, whether you like it or not.
And it would be pretty hard to move him due to his contract, I believe. So he's probably not going anywhere. It's fun to joke about,
though. That's true. No, that's true. But then on the Giants side, I will say, like, part of me did want to pick the Saints upset. I just couldn't put myself to do it. But I did see the signs there, which is that, like, the Giants had that win against the Chargers. They might have been ahead of themselves. And, Saints just kind of dominated them, honestly, from what I saw. But, and I think the Giants will also be dominated here. I think the Eagles, well, I don't know if they'll be necessarily double digits or anything like that, but I think they'll be thoroughly outplayed. It'll be another weird, like, Jalen Hurts goes for 130 yards or something like that. A.J. Brown gets his 2 catches, but or maybe this is the A.J. Brown breakout game. You never know. But I will pick the Eagles to win here pretty comfortably.
Yeah, we're not that brave this week. I'll be rooting for the Giants though, because I think it'd be really funny if they won. But yeah, we
That'd be
both got
very
Philly
fun.
here, no doubt.
Yep.
Next up, we've got the latest edition of How to Punish London. It's the Denver Broncos taking on the New York Jets. The Jets look like the worst team in football right now. The other winless teams got wins last week. The Jets very much did not get a win last week, blown out by the Dallas Cowboys.
Yikes.
Yeah, if you're a Jets fan, you're used to this, but still, sorry, that sucks. I don't know why you guys are always this bad. Denver got a huge win against the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 3-2 now, tied for first in that division, by the way. Something to note, something to watch. I'm hands down taking Denver here. The Jets aren't going to do much on offense. The Broncos offense should be able to run all over them. Bo Nix should have a productive enough day. I don't really see upset potential here, but the NFL's weird. You never know. Give me the Broncos, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Broncos here, and just on a kind of like related but also unrelated note, like you talk about how we always punish the United Kingdom for sending our horrible teams to London, and I was actually kind of thinking, like, I don't think we've ever really sent like some great team to London. Like, it's like we might try to send teams we think are okay, but we've never sent like the Chiefs or the Patriots in their dynasty or anything like that to London. So I just saw that as pretty interesting, but I do think the Broncos are the way better team, especially in like a travel environment. You having to travel cross country and things like that. I think Sean Payton and his troops are going to be well more prepared than Aaron Glenn and his guys. Although not to say Aaron Glenn's doing some horrible job. He's just, trying to set the culture with an 0-5 team. It's a talentless team. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Broncos here pretty handily. Don't really see a reason I pick the Jets. Yeah. But stranger upsets have happened.
Yeah. I feel bad for London, but at least they get to see the best team they've seen in a while in Denver. I don't know why they keep letting the NFL send teams over there when the product is never good. But hey, thanks for being a good sport, London. Hope you guys enjoy this probable blowout.
Yes, us Americans will probably not be watching it.
I can guarantee you my eyes will not be on this game.
No, not a single eye.
Moving on, you've got the LA Rams taking on the Baltimore Ravens. This is not going to be a good game. I'm sorry. This would be way more interesting if Lamar Jackson were going to play. I don't believe he's playing in this game, though. Pretty
probably
sure
not.
it's... Yeah, we've been led to believe he will not be playing in this game, probably returning after their bye week. I'm going to take the Rams here without overthinking it. Baltimore's defense doesn't exist at the moment. It's historically bad at the moment. A big reason for that is all the injuries they have, and I don't think they're getting anyone that great back this week. I could be wrong. I don't think it's going to matter. The Rams' offense has been fantastic. Matthew Stafford currently leads the league in passing. Puka Nacua is having a dominant year at wide receiver. So, yeah, Rams are going to put up points, and their defense isn't going to give up much. So, double-digit win for the Rams here.
Yep. We'll see if it's actually double digits, but I will also pick the Rams here. I could see this being a little weird, like everyone's like betting against the Ravens, like the Ravens kind of rise to the occasion. So it wouldn't absolutely shock me if they made it weird or even won, but I'm just not picking them, like especially like after what I saw against us and the week before against the Chiefs. They just got dominated those games. And like, as you said, their defense has been historically bad. And I think I saw that like this season they've allowed like 3 or 4 games of like over 37 points. And like they'd only allowed that many like since 2000 or something like that. Like it was like historically bad. But yeah. Their defense is definitely historically bad. So I would definitely, and yeah, as you said with Matthew Stafford and Puka and Devontae and all of them, Kyren Williams kind of like churning it up. I don't expect it to slow down here. So yeah, give me the Rams pretty handily.
Yeah, glad we agree on that one. I will say regarding Baltimore though, when they get healthy after their bye week, as they bring players back, I still think this is a team that could go on a run. As of right now, it might be crazy, although the odds say they're still favored to win that division. I still think they end up winning the division.
Kind of wild, yeah. Well, I'm going to disagree there, but that's fine. I think it's the Steelers to lose, but I mean, if they run the table, or not literally run the table, but
no, they only need to get to like 10 wins, and that probably is going to do it.
A chunk of games, and like I'll be here for it. But I think 1-5 is going to be too big of a hole to kind of like come back from. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. I definitely look forward to seeing how it plays out. I think it'll be an intriguing story to watch unfold, because either they're going to keep collapsing or they're going to make a fight, and it'll be fun to watch. I've compared them to last year's Bengals team. I think this roster overall is better when they get players back, though. So I don't know. It's going to be close. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting for sure.
For sure. Next up, it's the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Indianapolis Colts, who, as of right now, if the season ended, they would be the 1 overall seed in the AFC, which is kind of mind-blowing that we've gotten this far in the season, and they're 4-1, and there'd be no one above them if the season ended right now. But yeah, the Colts are having that good of a season. The Cardinals, meanwhile, their only wins are against the Saints and Panthers, and even the Panthers win, they probably should have lost, but they held on. Yeah, Cardinals have not been impressive. Before last week, I would have said they're closer to mediocre. I probably did say they're just mediocre, and then they went and lost to the Titans in the most hilarious way possible. Go look up the memes. It's the memes tell you everything. They're not even memes. It's just facts at this point. Like, I don't know how the Cardinals managed to lose that game. I'm gonna fairly confidently take the Colts in this game. From what we've seen so far, they look like one of the best teams in the AFC, or even in the league if you want to go that far. They look really good. It's weird, but so far it's true. After 5 games, they keep looking this good. I'm gonna keep saying it. They look very good. The Cardinals, I don't know how you can pick them after they lost to the Titans last week. I don't see their offense scoring enough points to keep up with Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, in this electric Colts offense, and I don't see Arizona's defense being good enough to slow them down enough. So, feels like a Colts win to me, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. Even if the Cardinals had beaten the Titans, that wouldn't have really changed much for me. I still would pick the Colts to win. But yeah, I mean, the Colts have just looked like one of the better teams in the AFC. And Daniel Jones playing really well. He's distributing the balls to his receivers and things like that. So it's been really interesting to watch. As a Texans fan, I can't say I'm exactly delighted, but on an NFL kind of underdog story level, them and the Jags, like, it is pretty cool to see actually how they're sort of succeeding. And you were telling me earlier that, this week, the Bills, Chiefs, and, Ravens all lost this week. And I'm like, yeah, the class of the AFC is the Colts, Jags, and
3-1 Steelers?
Yeah, and Patriots, Right. Daniel Jones versus Drake May is about to be the next Manning versus Brady. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to pick the not really, but I'm going to pick the Colts here pretty comfortably. I would just have a hard time. It could, again, be a weird game that the Cardinals get the upset when. Maybe this is where the Colts kind of go down to earth. I don't think they will, though. I think they're the real deal. I think the question is just, will they win 10 games or will they win 13? But yeah, give me the Colts to win here pretty comfortably.
Well, glad we agree on that one. So far, it's been pretty easy for us making these predictions. Maybe we'll have a more interesting game coming up soon.
That's true. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many swing games we have.
Probably not many at this rate.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got what may be one of the best games this week. Somewhat surprisingly, it is the Seattle Seahawks taking on the now 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville fans, I owe you guys an apology. I said last week the Chiefs would win by double digits, but you guys, you held strong. You were down 14-0 early on, but you came back, you fought hard, you got another takeaway or two on defense. I don't know how many total, but you had that pick 6, so defense is showing up. Offense did enough in that game. Great game-winning drive led by Trevor Lawrence, so I'm sorry, Jags fans. I was wrong. You guys look good. You should be able to keep it going and maybe make the playoffs. So I don't know if I'll predict it yet. I need to look into all the other teams. The AFC has more playoff-worthy teams than I realized, apparently. But
that's true.
Yeah, good for you guys. Enjoy the success. Hopefully it keeps going for you guys. I know Jags fans, like Panthers fans, have suffered for a while, so it's nice to see a fellow Cat fan base getting some wins. That being said, I'm going to take the Seahawks in this game. I know they lost last week to Tampa, but I was impressed by Sam Darnold in that offense. Overall, it had been their defense playing really well throughout the first few weeks of the season. This week, it was their offense that showed up. It was good to see. Darnold played lights out. JSN has been the second best receiver in football this season. If they can get it all together, I think that they could be an elite team. Problem is, I don't know that they're going to get it all together. I think that they're just going to be a good, not great team. They should be a playoff team. I think in this case against Jacksonville, their defense should be good enough to contain Jacksonville's offense. And I think Seattle's offense, I know that Jacksonville's defense has been pretty good against the run. So Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, they might not be in for that good of a day. But I think we said that last week heading into the Tampa game too, or at least a lot of people did. And yet their run game was fine, but more so their passing game was outstanding. So I think Seattle's going to be able to throw the ball against this Jacksonville secondary. If Sam Darnold doesn't turn it over 3 times, then I think they're going to do enough to win. It wouldn't surprise me if the Jags pull it off, given how many takeaways their defense continues to bring in, but I trust Seattle more, so I'm going to say Seattle rebounds from last week's loss, and they get the dub against Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I did also want to say that, like, I, in a way, owe the Jags an apology because I always just say, like, when we're, like, talking about teams and things like that, and the Jags come up, I'm always just like, oh, Jags suck. And they have sucked historically. But this year, they've been, like, really good. And they really should be 5-0 if they had, like, held on against the Bengals, right? So
Yeah,
it's been
losing
really
to Jake
impressive.
Browning looks even more and more strange as every week passes, but oh
Yeah,
well.
there's those like strange results, like the Patriots losing week 1, the Jags losing that game, but it's been really good in its own way to see. I mean, as I said, as an AFC South guy, like I'm not really necessarily thrilled about it, but it is kind of a good underdog story to see. And on the Seahawks side, like they've looked really good, and that game against Tampa was close, and they should have had it if Darnold hadn't like thrown that pick, just on that game-winning drive. That said, there's always that game or two where like we talk about, and then you're like, after recording, you're like, oh, I thought you were gonna pick the other team. This will probably be one of the games. I am actually picking the Seahawks as well. I actually do agree with you there. The Jags does seem like a tempting pick, partly because we just watched them beat the Chiefs like literally like an hour ago because we're recording this on Monday. In case anyone wants this kind of
That's our process here. The game's in, and we start recording our predictions.
Yep, but I do think like the Jags, it could be a game where like they get a little bit over their heads, and like I do think top to bottom Seahawks are probably a better team than the Jags. I would think. I couldn't tell you for sure, but I think the Seahawks are a little bit better, all things considered. So, and I know it's in Jacksonville. That was kind of the other point. So I could see why a lot of people might pick the Jags, and maybe the Jags will win, and they'll just be 5-1. They'll just be a powerhouse for all we know. But I'm actually going to agree with you there. I'm picking the Seahawks. It wouldn't shock me either way, but that is my pick.
For what it's worth, by the way, the Jags are favored by 1.5 in this game, which indicates on a neutral field the Seahawks would be favored. So for whatever it's worth, I think odds makers would agree that Seahawks have the better overall team just based on the fact they would be favored on a neutral field. But Jags at home, they are favored in this game. But we're both taking Seattle. We'll see if the Jags make us pay again.
Yeah, we'll see if the Jags clearly no longer suck yet, but we'll see how they.
No, they are a threat. Actually, I'm gonna say this out loud for the first time. They are tied for the best record in the AFC, so they definitely deserve some respect right now.
And tied with the Colts, right?
Colts and Bills.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
What a weird season.
Bills, Colts, and Jags.
Just like we all expected.
What has the NFL come to, really?
Yes. So weird, man. But good for the Jags. Hope you guys can keep it up. But yeah, we're going to Seattle this week. Next up, you've got the LA Chargers taking on the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, as of right now, still employing Mike McDaniel. I was hoping we could help out their fan base by getting him fired, but unfortunately, so far it doesn't look like that'll be the case. The Chargers, though, may have been even more disappointing last week, getting blown out by the Commanders. And I know they have issues on the offensive line, missing two starters, two very good starters at that. And also, Marion Hampton apparently got injured in that game. He's on injured reserve for the next 4 games at least. So, big hit there for the Chargers running back room. Daniel, what do you think of that? All these injuries. Do you think Miami's got a shot in this game?
I don't know. Maybe. They also just look so bad, too. Like, and I know there are injuries. I don't really care as it pertains to this game. I'm picking the Chargers here pretty easily. I do think the Chargers, they've lost 2 embarrassing games in a row. They lost to the Saints. No, not the Saints. Giants lost to the Saints, right? No, sorry. They
lost to the team that lost to the Saints.
Yes, they lost to the Giants, and the week before they lost to some. My mind is not working. I apologize.
no, they were 3-0. Then they lost to the Giants, and then last week lost to the Commanders. So
Commanders. Okay, that's not too embarrassing actually. But I for some reason I thought they lost some horrible team. But I don't think they'll drop a 3rd game in a row. And I do think like the Dolphins, they're just a mess. Like they lost to you guys, so that should show just how bad it is. Such an indictment of them, right? But yeah, I'm picking the Chargers here pretty easily. What about you?
Well, yeah, I'm also going the Chargers. I'm not going to do it easily, though. I think Miami could actually make this a game. I think Herbert should be able to exploit that not very good secondary. He should be able to do well. Quentin Johnson should have a rebound game, do pretty well. Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, like they still got those great receivers, and I think they're going to be able to move the ball. I think Miami shouldn't be able to score enough to keep up against the Chargers' stout defense. Most of their injuries are on their offense, so my one concern is missing 2 starters on the O-line and then missing Hampton. I don't know who they're starting at running back, Hassan Haskins or Kamani Vidal, I think that's his name. They got some unknown running backs there. And they're missing their top 2 backs. Najee Harris is out, so I don't know
True.
how badly that'll affect them. Against a better team, I'd be way more concerned, but I'm not sure if Miami has the defensive line to really affect them. So I can see a world where it happens, and this would not be, if you're playing ESPN Eliminator Challenge, I would not go with the Chargers this week. I think this could be a risky game, but I am going to pick the Chargers here. I'm tempted to go Miami, but I can't trust them at all right now. So it could be Mike McDaniel's last game, too. We will see.
Yeah, I think you have a point about the injuries. Like, maybe the Chargers' injuries catches up to them. I just don't think it'll be... I think they're well coached enough to where they should be able to, like, eke one out against the Dolphins, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. I'll have my eyes on it just in case, but...
For sure.
Yeah, don't trust Miami. Moving on, you've got the New England Patriots coming off of a huge win against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football, taking on the New Orleans Saints, who won a game last week against the lowly Giants. I don't care. The Patriots are going to win this game. The Saints are more than welcome to win games to ruin their draft order, whatever. They're supposed to tank, and they're failing at that too. So, double loss for them. Daniel?
Yeah, I would say if this were like 10 years ago and was Brady versus Breeze, this would be a much more interesting game. But instead, we have Drake May versus Spencer Rattler. Patriots win next game.
Here we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns looked more competent last week with Dylan Gabriel in at quarterback. I think it was really just a lack of turnovers. He played a safer game than Joe Flacco would have played. They still choked at the end, and the Vikings got the win. The Steelers had a bye week last week, so not much to say. We will point out that they have an easy lead in their division at the moment with the Ravens collapsing and Cleveland and Cincinnati not seen as big threats there. I am going to go with the Steelers in this game. They're coming off a bye. They're well-rested. Cleveland's got to travel back home. Well, not even home. They're going to Pittsburgh, so they got to travel back to the States. And I don't know. This doesn't feel like a great spot for them. Should be a really boring game, low scoring, but I'm going to say the Steelers are going to be able to win this one. So,
yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. It wouldn't shock me if the Browns won. They've looked feisty in all those games. They've just lost almost all of them. I know they got blown up by the Ravens, but they play it close against the Vikings. Like, I guess they got blown up by the Lions too, though, right? So maybe they haven't.
they look feisty every other week.
Yeah, so like it could be like a random one where they look pretty close, or it could be a blowout. But like, I'm betting the Steelers here too pretty comfortably. I don't know if it'll necessarily be a close game. I could see it being an ugly like 21-17 game or something like that. But I'm picking the Steelers here. No other real comments there. It would be pretty surprising if the Browns won, but not exactly shocking. But yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised at all if they won. It's just it doesn't seem they might win the rematch later this year, but this spot specifically just doesn't feel good. So
yeah, as you said, with all the travel and things like that, that's gonna be pretty tough.
Yeah, well-rested Steelers off a bye week should be fine.
Uh-huh.
Next up, you've got the Dallas Cowboys taking on my Carolina Panthers. Now, we are 2-3 now. We aren't going to get a lot of respect in the media this week because, we don't look that great. But I will say, our defense has been overperforming. We've been pretty good on defense overall. Very good run defense unit, especially against Miami last week. We held Achane to less than 20 yards on 16 carries. It was really good. Bryce Young, after he gets rid of his 2 to 3 turnovers per game early on, he looks like a competent quarterback. I'm not going to tell you he's the answer moving forward like most of our fan base still seems to believe. I think he just has to not lose us games because our run game came alive last week. Rico Dowdle, over 200 yards. Fantastic day for him. Ted McMillan continues to impress as a rookie. We may or may not get Jalen Coker back on offense, which would be huge. We've been missing a wide receiver too all season. If not, it's fine. Dallas doesn't really have a great defense. I believe Carolina's going to be able to move the ball on them, but you look at Dallas... Dak Prescott's playing at an MVP level right now. Even without CeeDee Lamb, you got George Pickens out there. You got Javonte Williams as one of the best running backs in the league so far this year. Who could have seen that coming?
Who would have thought that, yeah.
Yeah, a big shout out to Javonte. He was cast out of Denver after a few rough seasons, injury-riddled years, and he's breaking out in Dallas. So really good story there, underrated story. I'm going to take my Panthers in this game, though. We're going to be able to move the ball enough. It's probably going to be a close game towards the end. Both teams might end up in the 30s, maybe high 20s, something like that. I'm thinking Carolina wins this game 30-27. I'm going to say it's a late game drive. Bryce Young leads the offense downfield. He gets another clutch game-winning drive. And you can laugh at that, but he has been clutch. That last game-winning drive, he does it, I think, out of like he's won like 8 or 9 career games, and most of those have been game-winning drives.
Mm-hmm.
It's been crazy. So I'm gonna take my Panthers. We're gonna improve to 3-3 with the Jets coming up after that. Soon to be 4-3 Panthers. I don't know. I know it's gonna happen. I believe again. Carolina Panthers keep pounding.
Y'all are gonna have to get past this game first, obviously. Yeah, I see some of your points, and y'all did look pretty good. I mean, congratulations on the win. I mean, like, I did proclaim last week that, like, I thought I had a free pick because you picked the Panthers, I picked the Dolphins. But, you know, I should have known better. The Dolphins are a horrible team, and, you know, like, it looked pretty good for them at first, but then y'all just kind of got rolling, and, like, Rico Dowell just, like, had, like, you know, he went absolutely electric. He was basically Christian McCaffrey out there. So, you know, just got to give you your credit there. Although, I do think the Cowboys are way better than the Dolphins. And I actually think if you look at the Cowboys, outside of the Bears game, and maybe you could also say, like, the Giants, as that got kind of weird. Like,
I would bring up the Giants game, too, with Russ Wilson at quarterback.
They haven't looked that bad. I mean, like, they should have beat the Packers in that tie, right? And then they destroyed the crap out of the Jets. Now, being the Jets, do you get that much credit for it? But I don't think the Cowboys have maybe looked as bad as maybe we think. I think they're probably about what we would predict, which is that they'll probably be like 8-1 at this point or something like that. It's like a mid-level team at this point.
Hey, look, I called them a playoff team preseason. I'm just saying. I'm not a Cowboys hater.
Yeah, no, you certainly aren't. But I do respect the Cowboys enough. I think they're going to win this game. I do think, like, I mean, y'all beat up on the Dolphins, but the Dolphins, I think, are just, like, horrible. So it wouldn't absolutely shock me if y'all came away with the win. Like, this isn't like, you know, I'm picking, you know, it's not like you're picking the Panthers over the Bills or something like that. Like, this wouldn't absolutely shock me. It's not like the Cowboys are some stalwart in the NFC or something, but I do feel good enough about this one to where I'm going to pick the Panthers, not to take the loss, that is. But if I lose another swing game for picking against the Panthers, then, you know, they're not going to.
You got to learn at some point, man. Yeah,
I guess
you're going Dallas again.
I would have said
Carolina.
I would have said the exact same statement a week ago, but who's learning, right?
Fair enough. I mean, I've picked Carolina every week so far. I've gotten it right twice. You've gotten it right 3 times picking against them, so it's been close. It's not been a free win. I will say Dallas has traditionally owned us, or at least recently they've owned us. I said that preseason. I'll say it again now. It's been a thing for some reason. I'll also say I've acknowledged Dallas is not that bad. It's not Miami level. I also don't think that they're that much better in a way. Like, I think both teams have really crappy defenses. Dallas might be worse on defense than Miami, honestly. But the difference is Dallas has Dak Prescott playing at an MVP level. That's really, to me, that's their one big difference. They've got a better running game right now, too. I don't really know how, because Achan's a really good running back. But, yeah, I don't see it being, like, a huge difference. I think Dallas is closer to mediocre. Miami's closer to the bottom than Dallas is for sure. But, yeah, all that is to say, I'm taking Carolina. I think that our offense is going to do enough to win, and I'm going to trust Bryce Young to be clutch.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, trust in Bryce Young to be clutch all you want, because it might not happen.
Well, you give him the ball with under 2 minutes left. He, for some reason, is clutch. It makes no sense. For all the problems he has.
When he does in a playoff game, I'll give him his credit.
Wow, we got to get to the playoffs to give him... Okay, all right, I see how... Look, if we win these next 2 games, I'll start the playoff hype. I will.
Okay, all right, I'll be here for it.
Yes, sir. Keep pounding. Next up, we've got a real tank bowl here. It's the Tennessee Titans taking on the Vegas Raiders. Neither of these teams has looked any good at all this year. The Raiders are rocking a 4-game losing streak. They opened the year with a big win over the Patriots. We thought, okay, they could be a 5C team. They could be a potential wildcard team, and they've looked like one of the worst in football for the past few weeks. So the Titans, meanwhile, they started 0-4, looking abysmal most weeks, and then they got a weird win against Arizona last week, where I give more credit to Arizona for losing that game than Tennessee winning it. Honestly, you can go look up how that happened. It was wild. I'm not sure how to feel about this game. It's one I will not be watching, hopefully. I really do not want to have to watch this game.
This is the game you have to, like, you can't just not watch it. You have to, like, dedicate your whole, like, TV to it. Like, you got that has to be the game you watch.
This game will be an experience, that's for sure. You got Geno Smith leading the league in interceptions by a lot, I believe. At least 9 this season. It's been terrible. I'm not sure how much longer they're going to start him at this point. And then you got a rookie on the other side in Cam Ward, who hasn't been terrible, but he's also, not been that good. I am going to say the Raiders at home have the edge, so I'm going to go with the Raiders, and I don't feel good about it, but I think they're the more talented offense, and I think they're the more talented defense. I don't feel good about this at all. I wish I could pick both teams to lose, but I'm going to say Genty just has a really good day, and
Sure, yeah.
Raiders win 17-13. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I wish I could pick a tie. I guess I can, but it probably would be wrong. Yeah, I'm also picking the Raiders. I did pick them before. I knew you would pick them, but like same type of thing. Like, I mean, the Titans won, but as you said, like it's more that the Cardinals lost and the Titans won, so I barely really give them credit for that. And Titans, I still think they're probably the worst team in the league, honestly. Even with the win, like I mean, good win for them. Like it's a confidence booster. It's like you get on the win column, that's good. But they're gonna be so few more of the wins, and I don't think it's coming this week. And yeah, both teams are just horrible. I almost said horrible, like terrible, horrible. They're both horrible. How about that?
I agree. They are horrible teams.
Yeah, horrible teams indeed. But yeah, Raiders very uncomfortably, but I'll take the Raiders too.
Yeah, and this is also a game we might look back on and say, yeah, you probably shouldn't have won that game. This was a game you wish you had lost in terms of draft order. Like these are both teams picking in the top 10.
Maybe like an early candidate for a tank bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly. Keep your eyes off of this one, everybody.
Yeah, and also just as a general note, like I think we were talking about earlier, which is that don't know how much longer Geno Smith has because Kenny Pickett is his backup, and he's not been horrible in his NFL career. So it'll be interesting to see if they kind of like go to the bullpen in that sense, or maybe they'll just tank and just continue to play Geno. I mean, like, who knows?
Hey, we'll see what happens, man.
Yep.
Next up, we have a rather interesting game here between 4-1 teams. It's the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, I wish they could both lose, honestly. I hate the Bucs. Well, I mean, I don't strongly hate them, but they're divisional rivals, so, I'm going to be rooting against them. The Niners, I don't really understand how they're 4-1 with all the injuries they're battling through. It's kind of weird, but they continue to find ways to win. Their one loss being to the Jags. This is a weird game to me. It's probably going to be low scoring, like a 23-20 type of game. I'm gonna go with Tampa here. We probably see another game-winning drive for Baker Bay at the end. I don't really know. Yeah. I feel a lot better about Tampa than I do San Francisco at this point in the year. It doesn't really matter to me which quarterback they start. Mac Jones, Brock Purdy. I think their offense will be about the same regardless. I don't think Kittle returns this week. They may get Jennings and Pearsall back. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Tampa's defense can contain this offense, and I think they should be able to pull out the win.
Yep. I actually agree with you. I'm picking Tampa here too. I do think like it was hard, and I really want to pick the Niners, and I think the Niners very well could win. But Mac Jones is 3-0 as a starter. I'm kind of assuming that Mac Jones plays again, although it could be Brock Purdy. But if Brock Purdy would play, I would kind of maybe think that they're rushing him in again. So I'm not exactly sure, but I do think at that the Mac Jones magic will kind of run out. Not necessarily for good, but just for this game. Like I don't think he's gonna be 4-0 as a starter. Baker Mayfield could pull off some magic or whatever. I don't necessarily feel great about this. I am excited to watch this game. It's 2 4-1 teams in the NFC. Just like they both got there in very interesting ways, but it'll be kind of like the marquee matchup of the week. But I'm picking Tampa here as well. They've looked, pretty good. Maybe more close games than you would like, but I've liked the way they looked, and I also think the Niners. I mean, they're kind of coming off a mini bye, so maybe that does give them an advantage. I don't know. I mean, I think I think their win against the Seahawks, right? They just played the Seahawks, right?
The Bucs, yeah.
Oh no, sorry. Who did the Niners just play?
They played Thursday. They played the Rams.
So
they both these teams got big wins against NFC West competition.
Yeah, that's true. But I was gonna say, I thought maybe the Niners, that might have taken a lot out of them. I don't know, because I know that was a big effort win on their part. But I'm taking the Bucs as well. Don't feel great about it, but one less swing game for us to worry about, I guess.
Yeah, I thought this would probably be a swing game, so that's funny. But now I can freely root for the Niners to win, and we can just both get it wrong.
Yeah, there we go.
Moving on, it's the Cincinnati Bengals trying to play against the Green Bay Packers. Jake Browning has not been the guy in that offense. We were led to believe he'd be a good backup based on how he did in Joe Burrow's absence a couple seasons ago, but this year it's just... I mean, he's got a good case for worst starting quarterback in the league right now, and that's crazy to say when Geno Smith is still playing right now. So, sorry, Geno, you've had a bad year. But, yeah, the Bengals offense has not been great. They did put up some points in the second half against the Lions last week. I'm assuming the Lions just kind of took their foot off the gas there. Maybe not. I don't really know. I didn't watch that game. I'm not going to pretend I did. But yeah, their defense is non-existent. Their offense is turning it over a lot. They still have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins out there, so they can make plays. It's not happening this week, though. Not against Green Bay. Not at Green Bay. They got a really good defense. I believe they're coming off a bye as well. They're going to be well-rested. Jordan Love should absolutely carve up this secondary. Give me the Packers by double digits. I have no hesitation here.
All right, yeah, I have the Packers pretty comfortably as well. I think they'll get their mojo back, and not much else to say. I mean, I think you nailed all the points on its head, or whatever the whatever I'm supposed to say there. But yeah, Bengals have just looked horrible. I mean, no other way to put it. And like the Packers, I know they've maybe kind of regressed compared to what we were expecting earlier this season, but they're a very formidable team, and they should handily beat the Bengals.
Yeah, and if they don't, we can have some serious discussions about them, because that would be pretty embarrassing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Sunday Night Football. The Detroit Lions taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. I know the Chiefs just lost to the Jags on Monday Night Football, but this is still shaping up to be a great game. The Chiefs are 2-3 right now, which is kind of wild to be saying that. They've been unlucky, dare I say, in close games this year. 0-3 in one-score possession games, I believe. And that's after they were winning every one-score possession game last season, so their luck has...
balancing out.
Yeah, it's balancing out, as it should. The Lions, meanwhile, they lost week 1 to the Packers, but they've looked dominant and explosive since then. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here, though, and I don't feel good about it. I know the Lions look like one of the best in the league. Yeah, I don't have valid reasoning. I just think the Chiefs' offense has been finding its groove lately. They've been playing better, even against a good Jacksonville defense. They were putting up points. It was just their own defense that let them down late. I imagine both these teams are going to score points. This might be like a high-scoring game, possibly. I think it probably comes down to who has the ball last. I'm going to say the Chiefs win. I'm not going to feel good about it. In fact, I'm going to root for the Lions because I think a reality where the Chiefs are 2-4 is way more funny. But I'll take the Chiefs at home here.
All right. Yeah, I don't feel great about either way. I mean, obviously the Lions are one of the best teams in the NFC. Like, maybe not the best. They have some work to do to get there. But they're one of the stalwarts of the NFC. And you have the Chiefs, who are the defending AFC champions. But... they're 2-3. We just saw them lose to the Jags. Now, granted, I think they should have won, all things considered, but they didn't. That's the NFL, right? I'm just saying they should have won, not that they had like a play or something like that. I think they just outplayed the Jags for the most part, but the Jags just kind of came back and like ended up winning. I mean, credit to them, obviously. But I think this is going to be. I see this as a kitchen sink game for the Chiefs because they fall 2-4. That is not good. I'm actually picking the Chiefs as well. I think they're, as you said, I think they're finding their groove on offense, and their defense has always played well. And I say it's a kitchen sink game because, they're playing the Lions, a really good team, and if they lose, that's not going to bode well for their chances to win the division or even make the playoffs at this point. They'd probably make the playoffs.
I wouldn't worry. Their schedule gets a lot easier after this, I'm pretty sure.
I think they're going to give it everything they have, and it's an Arrowhead, so I think the home field advantage will favor them. So I'm picking the Chiefs too, actually.
All right, I thought this would be a swing game. I'm not gonna lie. Dang.
Yeah,
we're just agreeing a ton this week.
Yeah, totally.
Monday Night Football, the first game in a doubleheader because for some reason the NFL insists that we have doubleheaders. We got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Bills coming off a primetime loss to the Patriots in which we may or may not have witnessed the arrival of Drake May. He looks elite right now. I'm not going to hate in the Bills. They were due for a loss. They're still one of the best teams in the league. The Falcons coming off a loss to their bye week where they witnessed their rivals all winning their games. So, tough week to be a Falcons fan on a bye week, I suppose. I'm not going to hesitate here. I know it's a home game for Atlanta, but Buffalo should win this game. They're plainly the better team. I think their defense will be good enough to slow down Michael Penix in that offense. If they can contain Bijan Robinson enough, it should be fine. Atlanta shouldn't cross 20 points. And Buffalo, meanwhile... I mean, they should be able to score in the Falcons' defense. They're not that bad of a unit or anything. They've had their moments, but Buffalo, one of the best offenses in the league. I'm going to take the Bills without any hesitation, but Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. I'm going to take the Bills to easily win. We did see them lose on primetime, which is pretty embarrassing, but I do think, I say embarrassing only because, I think since they got embarrassed on primetime, they'll kind of motivate them to...
Right, it was a nationally televised loss that every NFL fan witnessed.
Yeah, for sure, and I think it'll motivate them enough. I think they should destroy the Falcons, and not only that, but I don't know if you saw the Falcons game against the bye week, but it did look pretty rough. Like Bijan Robinson was like held to like under 60 yards or something like that. And like, I forget the bye week corner, but he really held down Drake London. And I don't know if you saw, like, Kyle Pitts had a critical drop in the end zone as well when they were kind of trying to rally. So
yeah, it's crazy really too. The Falcons led that game 28-3 as well against the bye week. So just another choke.
Yeah, I mean, like, we thought, like, oh, the bye week, like, why are they even playing? But they showed why they belong in the NFL. But yeah, the Falcons lost a tough one too. But so I'm gonna take the Bills to win this pretty handily.
Heck yeah, man. Buffalo Bills all the way. Do not let us down. Finally, the second game on the Monday night doubleheader that for some reason still exists. We've got the Chicago Bears at 2-2 taking on the Washington Commanders 3-2. This game was a classic last year, or at least the end sure was, with Washington winning on a Hail Mary. That was awesome. Love to see it. This year, though, Chicago looks like a much better team than they were last season. They're 2-2. I don't think they're elite by any means, but they are playing much better football this time around. Washington, they're hard to get a read on right now. A week ago, I wasn't feeling good about them at all. Then they went and beat up on an injured Chargers team. They scored 27 on that stout defense, and they only gave up 10 points. And this is a Washington defense that got shredded by Atlanta 2 weeks ago. So Washington, to me, feels very inconsistent. At their best, they're an elite team. At their worst, they're losing to the Falcons. So really tough to judge. I'm actually going to take the Bears in this game. I know it's a home game for Washington, but you got Chicago coming off a bye week. You got their offense playing really well. I think they're going to be able to score points on the Washington defense. It's going to be a close game. It'll come down to the end. This time, a Hail Mary is not going to save Washington. Give me the Bears to win.
All right, well, I don't think the Commanders will win off a Hail Mary, but I am taking the Commanders here. I just think, I think the Bears are just a little bit, inconsistent. I just don't know what to make of them. They blew out the Cowboys, but then they'll lose, some random games. It's really hard to get a read on them.
Well, hold up, though. Which random games have they lost? I mean, they lost to the Vikings in Week 1 on primetime, and they were leading that game.
That's random, yeah.
I mean, in Week 1, it seemed fair. I guess since then, yeah, the Vikings aren't that good. Who else
did they lose to, by the way? I don't.
They lost to the Lions. And to be fair, it was a blowout. We can acknowledge that.
Yeah, the Vikings was the random loss, but
yeah,
and they beat the Cowboys, I know, but
yeah, and then they eked by the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, they eked by the Raiders. Okay. Oh, yeah.
The blocked field goal to win.
That was kind of a random outcome, but yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about the Commanders here. I do think Jay Daniels is back, and I think he'll be healthier this go around. I don't know about Terry McLaurin. He was injured last week, right?
Yeah, he sat out last week. I think he's expected to play this week, but we don't know for sure yet. And also, it's worth mentioning Bill Krosky-Merritt finally had his breakout. They finally gave him that backfield. I don't know what took so long, but they did this time.
Yeah. I tend to trust the Commanders a little bit more. It wouldn't surprise me too much if the Bears won, but I just think I trust, especially coming off a win against the Chargers. I'm actually going to go Commanders here.
Okay, I mean, that's valid. I think most people are going to agree with that, but yeah, I guess both teams probably aren't that consistent right now, but hey, I'll take the team coming off the bye and hope that it doesn't cost me here. Chicago, don't hurt me again.
Don't hurt him. Well, actually, you can do that. It's okay.
Wow. Okay, that is it for our Week 6 NFL predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to let us know how we did and drop your own picks in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. We only had 2 swing games this week. I took the Panthers over the Cowboys and the Bears over the Commanders. You obviously didn't, or else they wouldn't be swing games. So we agreed a lot this week. Daniel, how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I mean, 2 swing games, it makes it feel a little bit safer, which is that, okay, worst case scenario, I only go down 1 point at this point. But also, it would be more fun if we had more swing games, just that there's more games kind of watch. But I do think this week it's just kind of it just seems like kind of one of the weeks of the year. A lot of lopsided looking games and things like that. If there are a lot of upsets, then it could be another bad week for us. But
last week, it could be just like last week.
Yeah, totally. Maybe it'll even out them. We'll get all of them right or something like that. But yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm just given that I'm thankful football's here, so I am excited to watch the games. This week, not as much. There's some games I'm excited to watch, and I mean, Texans are on a bye, so I won't get to watch them. But it'll be pretty fun to watch. Looking forward to seeing how the games go.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad we have another week of football, and we'll probably broadcast a couple of games at least. I know I'll do most of the Panthers game because I'm trying to do that when I can. I just show up a little late, but I will probably react and commentate on that one, and then I think we're planning to do Chiefs-Lions Sunday night, right? So that should be fun.
I believe so, yes. I should be free then, so if I am, I will definitely be on for that.
And TBD on the Monday night games. We'll figure that out. But yeah, we are at full go here. We're doing a lot of content on this channel. We're so close to 300. I think as of this recording, we're at 287. So thank you to all of our new subs. Really appreciate the support we're getting. If we could get to 300 soon, that would be awesome. So be sure to help us out if you don't mind. It's completely free. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you all so much. As the man Isaac said, just leave a like, comment, subscribe, everything like that. And we're getting to that 300 mark, and we'll be at 500 before the season. I believe.
Hey man, I hope so. We're gonna keep putting in the work. We are gonna do our best to get there. Just appreciate any help we can get. Can't do it alone.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.
Heck yeah. Take care, everybody.
Peace.